Live every day as if it were the last, because before you know it, time goes past and life's just not that long. Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone.
The 21-year-old white man, Patrick Casillas, shot 45 Mexican-American men and women in El Paso, Texas on August 3rd, 2019. Patrick murdered 23 men and women, injured 22 men and women. Patrick was not born evil. No one is born evil. Patrick was not born a mass murderer. He pled guilty in court on April 22nd, 2025. Yolanda Tinajero, sister to a man Patrick murdered, hugged Patrick in the courtroom so he could feel she forgave him. Adriana Zandi, whose husband Patrick murdered, hugged Patrick and forgave him. Many questions about Patrick. Was he close to his father or mother, or both? If not, was he jealous of the closeness in many Mexican-American families? Did his parents tell and laugh at racist jokes about brown and black people? Did Patrick's father or mother beat Patrick when he was a kid? Did his mother or father often insult or curse Patrick? Did his parents shame him for being a college dropout? Did his parents call him a loser? Did his father and mother apologize when they wronged him? Was Patrick a boozer? Did he pig out on sugar shit and other factory fake crap? Did he walk much? Did Patrick enjoy nature? Did he ever have a garden? Did his bare skin get enough sunshine? Were his father or mother alcoholics? Was Patrick on medication for depression? Did he have a pet he loved? A pet dog, pet cat, pet bird, whatever? Did he enjoy watching many movies of guns and bloody violence? Had Patrick told anyone he was going to El Paso to mass murder Mexican Americans? If he did tell someone, did that person have the conscience and the balls to urge Patrick not to do this evil? Did his father or mother own and love guns? Did Patrick think using a high-powered gun to murder many people would make him more of a man? The 21-year-old white man, Patrick Casillas, shot 45 Mexican-American men and women in El Paso, Texas, August 3rd, 2019. Patrick murdered 23 men and women, injured 22 men and women. As I said, Patrick was not born evil. No one is born evil. He was not born a mass murderer. Yolanda Tinajero, sister to a man Patrick murdered, hugged Patrick in the courtroom so he could feel she forgave him. He pled guilty in court April 22nd, 2025. Adriana Zandi, whose husband Patrick murdered, hugged Patrick and forgave him in the courtroom. As Patrick traveled hundreds of miles from his home near Dallas to El Paso, did he think about the prison sentence for life he could receive for his murders? Did he hope police would shoot and kill him? Suicide by cop. Had he ever attempted suicide? Did Patrick feel deeply loved by anybody in this world? Did he have a girlfriend? Or did he have a boyfriend? Did his father or mother or anyone warmly hug Patrick often? On his way to El Paso, those hundreds of miles, did he think of the deep sorrow, the misery, the anger the Mexican-American victims' families would suffer? Had Patrick had any school teacher who told him the U.S. invaded Mexico in the 1840s, the U.S. murdered many Mexicans and stole much of Mexico's land that is now the U.S. Southwest? Did the hate-filled evil lies about immigrants invading the United States that white racist Trump told poison Patrick's mind toward brown people and black people? Did he watch Fox News? Did Patrick swallow the hate on white racist websites? Did Patrick ever have a brown friend or a black friend? Does he now strongly regret shooting 45 people? Does he have nightmares now in his prison cell about the vicious evil he did to all those families? Is Patrick shocked and deeply touched that two of the Mexican-American women whose loved ones he murdered publicly forgave him and hugged him in that courtroom? The bloody, awful, sad truth is, if 21-year-old white Patrick Casillas had been a U.S. soldier in combat in a U.S. war, he could have been honored as a hero for murdering 23 human beings in another nation. None of us can say for sure we would not have committed the bloody, evil atrocities Patrick did if we had suffered whatever he did. Hurt people, hurt other people, unless and until they heal and change. Healing and changing can take years with much help from other people. If someday someone murders me, I ask my friends, I ask my family to offer that person forgiveness and friendship if he or she sincerely repents for murdering me. And the more Patrick feels that most people see him as a no-good, hopeless devil, the harder for Patrick to turn away from his past evil and to change his life. Sadly, some people do not want him to change because they want to feel they're better than this no-good devil. The forgiveness and the hugs of the two Mexican-American women, Yolanda and Adriana, may help him want to change his life. Lying causes stress on the liar and the person lied to. Lying harms the liar and the person lied to. The more someone lies, the easier it gets to lie. And the more someone lies, the more it becomes a habit. Telling the truth helps us to be healthy in body and mind. Telling the truth helps our relationships with other people. Lying causes our heart rate to go up. Lying causes our blood pressure to go up. And when persons who are lied to realize they were lied to, they question what other things that person says are also lies. People who tell the truth have less risk of lung disease. I would have never guessed that, I guess. People who tell the truth have less risk of depression. And if you ever feel I am lying about anything on this program or in talking with me, tell me right away on the spot. My mother hated lies. If I had lied to her about anything, my mother would have been very upset. And many children learn young to lie when they know telling their parents the truth that the parents don't want to hear, they will get punished or yelled at or cursed at. Lying traps the liar into covering up lies with more lies. The liar may forget whom he or she told, what, and when, especially if the liar tells different things to different people. If you're planning to marry someone, ask yourself, do I ever know myself or the other person or the future well enough to know for sure we both will do well with only each other romantically until one of us dies? I repeat that. Do I ever know myself or the other person or the future well enough to know for sure we will both do well with only each other romantically until one of us dies. I'm so glad I have never married anyone. Before I first had sex with any male in my life, when I was 31, I'm so glad I never married an attractive woman friend. And in recent years, when men can legally marry men, I'm so glad I did not marry a man. I can be openly in love with two or more men at the same time. So I would feel caged. I would feel trapped. I would feel suffocated and imprisoned if I promised in marriage to be in love and make love with only one man until he or I die. Hell no. I will not promise that to any man, no matter how attracted I am to him, no matter how deeply I love him, because I can be openly and deeply in love with two or more men at the same time. Sadly, many straight or gay men and women, as they say their wedding vows before family and friends, feel they are lying. They don't say it, but down deep they feel, some of them, not all of them, feel they are lying. They feel trapped and caged by what they are promising in the marriage vows. They know they can be deeply in love with more than one person at the same time. And again, I'm not saying this is true of all people who get married, gay or straight, but some. They deeply love the person they're marrying, but they're quite sure they know they will not stop wanting to make love with other persons also. Why get married to any person if you feel that way? Why lie? Why live a lie? Do you know married couples where one or both lie to each other over and over and over again and get in awful jealous fights about their other sex partners? Why spend a fortune on a wedding if you already know you will never be satisfied with only this one person you love? Why start a marriage lying to this person you love? And even if your families want you both to marry, even if you enjoy the wedding celebrations of friends, even if all your friends are getting married, why get married if you know you will feel trapped and caged romantically with only this one special person? Have the balls to be honest with yourself. Have the balls to be honest with this person you love. Have the balls to be honest with your family, your friends, about your being able to be openly and deeply in love with more than one person at the same time. Dare to tell the truth. If you eat sugar shit, ice cream, sodas, candy, cookies, cake, donuts, think of me with no teeth. As a kid and in my 20s, I pigged out foolishly, stupidly, on sugar shit. If I had spent a fortune on dentists, I could have kept some or all my teeth. But I hate the price and I hate the pain of going to dentists. I stopped the sugar shit over 40 years ago. My mother, sadly, was also severely addicted to sugar shit. She went from 98 pounds at 26 when she got married. Of course, many years before I knew her, because she was 38 when I was born. But back then at 26, 98 pounds, born on that farm, worked hard, milking cows, driving truck, tractor, very active. But in her 50s, she weighed 270 pounds, and she went through hell from sugar shit. And so when I saw what it did to her, and she died of kidney disease, I woke up and I stopped the sugar shit over 40 years ago. If I had eaten only healthy food all my life, from birth on, as I eat now, healthy, raw plant foods, I would still have most or all of my teeth. My sweets now are fresh, whole fruit. Lots of it. Fresh, whole fruit. Sugar causes or worsens 50 bad conditions: cancer, heart disease, mental illness, depression, tooth decay, blindness, catching COVID, flu, colds because of low immunity caused by sugar. Sugar causes much more suffering. But because it's legal, because most people eat it like crazy, and it's relatively cheap, most people are severely addicted to sugar shit. Sadly, terribly. And different people suffer from sugar addiction in different ways. Not everybody will lose their teeth, as I did. Not everybody will go blind, as some people do from sugar. In fact, I had surgery on both retinas of my eyes about 50 years ago. The cause? Damn sugar shit. And in the hospital here in Albuquerque, Anna Caseman, where I had that surgery, I don't remember any doctor, any nurse saying to me, "What are you eating?" Sugar shit caused almost for me to go blind. Some people, when they are dying, wish they had divorced from a long marriage, a miserable marriage, for both of them. Some people, when dying, wish they had lived openly gay or bisexual or transgender. Some people, when dying, wish they had not stayed stuck in religion for many years and had realized there is no fair, loving parent God to believe in and to pray to. Some people, when dying, wish they had strongly protested against U.S. wars that have killed millions of people all over the world under both Republican and Democrat presidents. Some people, when dying, wish they had not worked such long hours on their job and had spent much more time with their family, their friends. And some people, when dying, wish they had eaten and lived healthy. No junk food, no booze, no cigarettes, to prevent the months and years they suffered at the end of their lives. Some people, when dying, wish they had often hugged everyone, glad to hug them. Some people, when dying, wish they had lived simply, not addicted to much more money and stuff than they needed. Some people, when dying, wish they had not killed people as a U.S. soldier. Some people, when dying, wish they had stayed in touch with long ago close, dear friends. Some people, when dying, wish they had made friends with lonely, rejected people they often walked past on the streets where they lived. Some people, when dying, wish they had not pretended to believe what they did not believe in politics or in religion. And some people, when dying, wish they had made big changes in how they live because of the climate crisis, and had not driven cars and flown in planes thousands of miles, poisoning our only home, Mother Earth. Poisoning Mother Earth for their grandchildren and great-grandchildren, if people survive. Some people, when dying, wish they had never hit their children. Never hit their children. Some people, when dying, wish they had never insulted and put down their kids. Some people, when dying, wish they had welcomed personal questions from their children, from their friends, about anything. I dedicate today's program to my close, dear friend, Johnny Argon. I met Johnny when he was about 9 years old in Martinez Town. I took Johnny and his aunt, Martina Tafoya, to guitar mass at San Felipe Church in Old Town back in the 1970s, when I drove the only car I ever owned in my life. I've owned no car now for 45 years. As a teenager, Johnny married a beautiful woman. They had a baby girl. I visited the three of them once in Bareilles. And then for over 30 years, Johnny and I had no contact at all. But on October 18th, 2016, over 8 years ago, while I was waiting for a bus, Johnny called out to me from his vehicle, and we talked. And since that day, Johnny has visited me over 300 times. He and I have phoned each other hundreds of times. We've hugged hundreds of times. Johnny faithfully visited his very sick mother hundreds of times when she was in a nursing home for 5 years. Johnny and I have walked miles together dozens of times. He and I have been together in Old Town, UNM, National Hispanic Cultural Center. He and I have been together the Rail Yards Market, the Mount Calvary Cemetery, the flea market, San Jose de Armijo Cemetery, where I have a plot, El Super, the huge Mexican grocery store where I go often to buy fresh produce. He and I have been together in Santa Fe. Johnny has given me a bunch of rides since the hit and run I suffered last year. I mostly walk and ride the city bus, but I have accepted rides from Johnny and some other friends since that hit and run. As of now, he is the main person in charge when I die. I love you very much, Johnny. I'm very indebted to you. Military recruiters bait youth. Military recruiters con youth with posters, uniforms, travel, family pride, patriotic lies, medals, all to hide the bloody truth, becoming professional hired killers for U.S. greed. Military recruiters show no photos of soldiers coming home blind. Military recruiters show no photos of soldiers coming home missing arms or legs, suffering nightmares and PTSD. Military recruiters show no photos of soldiers suffering alcoholism because of their soldier buddies having been blown to bloody bits on the battlefield beside them. Military recruiters bait and con youth and show no photos of the sorrow that many soldiers feel after the war because of murdering kids and old people in another nation. The United States and other nations hire military chaplains to convince their soldiers God wants them to murder people when their government tells them to. The U.S. spends more for wars than the next highest 9 nations, put together. The U.S. spends more for war, past, present, and future, than the next highest 9 nations combined. Napoleon said, "If my soldiers knew the truth and what they're fighting for, they would walk off the battlefield." Would any military recruiter tell that to the youth they're conning and baiting into the military? Frederick the Great said, "If my soldiers were to begin to think, not one of them would remain in the army." Henry David Thoreau said, "It's impossible to give a soldier a good education without making him a deserter. Thoreau said, his natural enemy is the government that drills him. I want to keep making good new changes in my life as long as I live. I enjoy learning from many people, many cultures, better ways to live. When I was a kid, I do not remember a garlic bulb or hot chili pepper ever in our farm home in Illinois. If we had it, I don't remember. And now I eat garlic and hot chili every day in my blended smoothies. As a kid, I may have never seen an avocado. Avocados are one of the most healthy foods. As a kid, I may have never known anyone using their own piss and shit to fertilize their garden or trees. And now I use my shit, my piss, to fertilize. As a kid, I did not know squatting to shit instead of sitting to shit is much better. You know, all of our ancestors all over the world, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, squatted to shit, like a dog, like a cat. Much healthier because it gives a straight shot for to remove the shit from our intestine. Now at home I squat to shit. I never saw my brother and our dad strongly hug each other. I don't remember once seeing my dad and my brother hug each other. I learned from Chicano men and other people to hug warmly if the other person is glad to hug with me. I greatly enjoy hugging men and women, all ages, all colors, all sizes. As a high school student, I did not dance. Back then, I believed that dancing was wrong. And so the phys ed teacher would allow me to go to the library instead of being in class that day when there was dancing. But for many years now, I have loved to dance to beautiful music. Not just any music, but beautiful music that I enjoy. Motown, Chicano music, mariachis, older country. As a kid, I never knew any nudists, but for over 50 years, I have enjoyed being a nudist. I was naked as an adult in the presence of my mother and my father. I have photos my mother took of me naked as an adult. As a kid, I never knew any openly gay men. Never. I did not know I was gay when I graduated from high school. But for years, I have been Albuquerque's most well-known openly gay man. As a kid, I never knew anyone who drank their piss to be healthy. But starting November 10th, 1999, over 25 years ago, I have drunk some of my piss most days. As a kid, I wore little or no jewelry. And years later, I saw Native American and other men wearing much jewelry. I enjoy wearing jewelry. I do not buy expensive jewelry, As a kid, I never knew anyone who ate no meat, no dairy, no wheat, no sugar shit, no junk food, no cooked food. For many years, I've eaten healthy, raw plant foods. As a kid, I knew no one who had been a sincere Christian preacher, but slowly changed and was no longer a believer in a fair, loving parent God. As a kid, I never knew anyone who openly said he or she was in love with more than one person at the same time. Now I know I can be openly and deeply in love with more than one man at the same time. You and I do not have to stay trapped in the cages of our past. I've made huge changes on many things in my 79 years. I enjoy making new, good changes in my life. I have learned so much from a wide variety of many persons and other cultures. Every culture, every one of us has both wisdom and bullshit. Every one of us, every culture, has both kindness and cruelty. And I want to learn the wisdom and the kindness of persons and cultures and to reject the bullshit, the cruelty. We can change to live better. A woman wrote, "My late mother-in-law was a very heavy smoker. She appeared to be in fairly good health until she passed 70. But one morning, she got out of bed and could barely stand up because of the pain. She said it was like walking on broken glass. A diagnosis by her doctor showed the arteries in both her legs were blocked. The doctor said in all the years of his medical career, he had never seen such diseased arteries. He recommended bypass surgery at once, but she said no. She was in pain 24 hours a day. One evening while soaking her feet, this woman says, I noticed gangrene had set in. The doctor hospitalized her the next day. Her right leg was amputated below the knee. It was a horrible experience for the family, painful for her. And 1 month later, the doctor took the rest of the leg. And 2 months after that, the same problem surfaced with her left leg. Another amputation. That dear woman lived for 4 years in a nursing home, miserable the whole time. She lost not only both legs, but her independence, her dignity, and the ability to live a normal life. And this woman, telling about her late mother-in-law, says, "Don't smoke." I hate cigarettes. And when people on the street sometimes ask me for a cigarette, I have very mixed feelings. On the one hand, I'm glad to tell them that I would not smoke a cigarette for all the money in the world. Why would I pay the tobacco company to kill me? On the other hand, I feel Do they really think that I would be that stupid to smoke a cigarette? The U.S. Public Health Service in 1932 did a secret study on almost 400 black men. A secret study. The U.S. Public Health Service. A secret study on almost 400 black men, most of them poor, undereducated farmers. The U.S. Public Health Service recruited these black men to watch them suffer for 40 years from the sexually transmitted disease syphilis. Syphilis can cause paralysis, blindness, deafness, dementia, heart trouble, brain damage, and death. And this evil study was called the Tuskegee Experiment, and it was done by the U.S. Public Health Service in 1932, going on 100 years ago, on almost 400 black men. This evil study was called the Tuskegee Experiment. And this is one reason that many black people today do not trust white doctors. And other reasons that many black people do not trust white doctors, enslaved black women suffered experiments on their vaginas by white doctors. White grave robbers stole black bodies to use in medical schools. White doctors sterilized black women so they could not have children. Some white doctors think that black people feel less pain than whites. People born in the United States are much more likely to be arrested for violent crimes, for drug crimes, and for property crimes than undocumented immigrants. People born in the United States are much more likely to be arrested for violent crimes, for drug crimes, for property crimes than undocumented immigrants. And of course, the racist liar in the White House says just the opposite, lying through his teeth. Cow's milk, cheese, ice cream can cause or worsen heart disease, cancer, arthritis, migraine headaches. Cow's milk, cheese, and ice cream can cause or worsen allergies, ear infections, colds, hay fever, asthma, respiratory, and many other problems. Cow's milk is different, much different from human milk. Cow's milk has much more casein, which can make cancer at all stages, to grow faster. I drink no cow's milk. I eat no cheese, no ice cream. I used to. I was addicted many years ago to cheese and ice cream, but I woke up. I changed. And if you insist on eating dairy, cheese, drinking milk, raw milk from healthy goats, raw milk, not pasteurized, not homogenized, raw milk from healthy goats, not cows, is healthier than pasteurized, homogenized milk from cows. Cow's milk is great if you're a baby calf, but cow's milk is not healthy for us human beings. Adults never give kids candy or any sugar shit. Sugar is the gateway drug to fat bodies, the gateway drug to diabetes. Sugar is the gateway drug to alcoholism and other drug addiction. Adults giving kids candy on Halloween or Christmas or any time is wrong. No matter how much those kids want it, no matter how much they expect it. Imagine the lean, good-looking boy or girl now, 40 or 50 years from now, going 3 times a week, 4 hours at a time for dialysis because of kidney disease, because of diabetes, because of unhealthy, deadly sugar shit. If you give a damn about the kids, will you play roulette with their future health by feeding them anything with added sugar or other factory fake food? Diabetes is an epidemic in this country, causing blindness, strokes, paralysis, chopped off toes, amputated feet, chopped off whole legs. The gateway drug sugar sets up millions from babyhood on to become alcoholics. Our example as adults every day, if we live and eat healthy, can help many young people avoid the misery of suffering sickness many years from now. Most sickness can be prevented. We all will die. I will die. Everybody dies. But I've awakened to live healthy as I can until I die. Why suffer for months or years before we die if we can prevent it? And we can usually prevent it. I damn all horror movies. Governments at war know that horror movies make their people less opposed to murdering people on the other side. How evil that many movie actors, many movie producers make millions of dollars addicting people to horror for entertainment. While the U.S. government spends billions of dollars of U.S. weapons to Israel to make homeless, to injure, to murder tens of thousands of our Palestinian sisters and brothers in Gaza and in Lebanon. And I urge the millions of people who are addicted to horror movies in this country to wake up, to stop watching all horror and other violent movies, to learn about the victims the U.S. routinely and deliberately makes all over the world. I urge the millions of people addicted to horror movies in this country to wake up and to stop watching that evil shit, and to call Congress to damn all U.S. wars, all U.S. atrocities in Gaza or anywhere on earth, to stop paying their federal income tax for U.S. wars. And I have paid not one damn bloody penny of U.S. federal income tax. Almost one-third to one-half of it goes to murder other human beings all over the world in many nations. Why do millions of parents prefer their teenager to watch horror and other violent movies instead of movies of passionate romance and affectionate hot sex. Man and woman, man and man, woman and woman. Watch movies instead of violence, movies of passionate romance and affectionate hot sex. Why are many church-going adults less ashamed if their friends walk in on them when these church-going adults are watching horror and other violent movies than if those friends walked in on them unannounced and these church-going adults were watching movies of passionate romance and affectionate hot sex? Some reasons many teenage girls get pregnant. Some girls know little or nothing about sex and about birth control. Some girls and their boyfriends have sex when they are boozing and do not think much about getting pregnant. Some girls are rebelling against their parents' authority and want to punish their parents for being so strict. Some girls want to have their boyfriend's baby to please him or to hang on to him, which often does not work because some boyfriends run the other way when they find out their girlfriend is pregnant. Some girls' boyfriends want to be fathers to prove they are men, especially if they are closeted gay or bisexual. If parents had divorced or a parent has died, the girl may feel having a baby will fill her heart's empty hole. Some girls think having a baby will show they can produce something and have someone to love, someone who will love them in return. I thank Mark and Eddie and Jonah for helping me with this program. And I thank you for watching and listening. And if you see me on the street, I am glad to converse with you. To your health, my fresh piss.
Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow on by. Sing songs of love, let the music get you high, and when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine